Elina here. Welcome to class. Today we will do a hips-focused class. I am wearing a new mic today, so I'm hoping that this audio works. For today's class, you will need a strap. You might want a blanket if you know you have sensitive knees. We'll do things like low lunge and stuff. You may want to grab 2 yoga blocks or something similar, like stacks of books or hold on to furniture or something. It's just for balance. And then you might want to use a yoga bolster for our very last pose. It's optional, but if you want to get really yummy, you can try it out. But if you don't have one, no worries. Let's get started in our tabletop position. And as always, listen to your body here, right? So I'm myself feeling a little bit stiff today. This is actually my first movement of the day. And so I'm going to take it really easy. And I want you to listen to your body. Go deeper if it feels good, or back off if that feels better. So let's start off tabletop position. Hands underneath shoulders and hips underneath the, or knees underneath the hips. We'll start off just with some gentle cat-cows here. So as you inhale, arch the spine, sit bones come up and apart, chest pulls forward and gaze slightly up. Exhale, curl starting from the tailbone, abs come in, gaze towards the navel, push the floor away. Inhale, arch. And exhale, curl. Nice and easy here. Good. Just finding some very gentle movement here. Maybe this is also the first time you're moving today. So move at your own pace and whatever feels good. You want to feel good in this class today. Nothing should ever feel too intense. One more. Beautiful. If your wrist bother you, you can make fists and come up like this. From here, flex your right foot and just circle your thigh bone in the hip socket. So try to really focus on that hip joint and go really slow here. So we want to move mindfully and not just throw our body around in different directions. Beautiful. And other direction. You might hear some pretty loud cracking and popping here. It's all good. I have that too, as long as there's no pain. Nothing to worry about. Whew. All right, other side. Again, if your wrist bother you, just make fists and come up like this. Same thing on the left side. Really focus on feeling your thigh bone move in the hip socket. And try to really keep your back neutral. So you don't want to do this here. You want to try to keep that back neutral and just let that hip bone, or that thigh bone move in the hip socket. And switch directions. Beautiful. This should feel really good, and these are really good to do on a daily basis. And release. Beautiful. I do these every day when I wake up. I start off with cat-cows and hip circles, and then I do some shoulder stuff and just whatever feels good that day. I have a morning mobility class here on my YouTube as well if you're interested in that. Those are the things that I typically do every single morning. Okay, from here, come to lay on your back and just grab your strap so that you have it handy. We're not going to use it just yet, but just have it close by. Soles of the feet are on the floor, and your feet are about hips distance. Your ankles should be roughly underneath your knees. Press your low back into the floor as you exhale. And as you inhale, arch a little bit through the low back. Exhale, press low back into the floor. And inhale, gentle arch. Getting just a little bit of movement here with the pelvis and the low back. So if we have any back problems, working on our backs in a supine position, as it's called, can be really, really good because it's a gentle, more gentle way to work. and it keeps our spine neutral. So just a side note there, if you have back problems, I know that's a lot of you who find me. Usually that's how you find me. So okay, from here, press your heels into the floor. You can even lift your toes off a little bit. And we're coming into a glute bridge. So just lift your hips up. And you don't want to arch your back here. You want to really think about tucking your pelvis under, so almost tucking the tailbone. And come on down. Come on up. And down. So we'll do about 20 of these just to get a little bit of activation through our glutes and our hamstrings. So today's a hip class, so we want to make sure that we activate what we are stretching. Helps us to get a better stretch and also makes sure that we're warmed up and the stretch feels really nice. Whew, I'm starting to burn a little bit here. These look so easy, but they're quite difficult. Good, keep going. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, you can take a quick break and come down if you need to. Otherwise, heel toe your feet slightly together. Lift your right leg up. And it's okay if your leg is down here. Like, try to keep it as far up as you can. And try to keep your hips level here. So don't let that right side dip down. And we'll do 5 bridges here. One-legged bridges. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Slowly place your right foot back on the floor and lift your left foot up. Oh! 1, 2, sorry. 3, 4, 5, and slowly place that left foot down. Take a regular bridge and slowly lower down. Whew. Bring your knees into your chest. You can wiggle it out a bit. Maybe roll out a little bit here on your sacrum. It's like a little nice massage. From here, straighten out your left leg. Flex the foot. And I want you to really pay attention here. So if you're up here or down here, it doesn't matter. Right? So I used to be down here just a few months ago, actually. And now I'm up here. So wherever you are is perfect, right? Do not try to force this. Especially if you have disc problems, this can be really triggering. So just go to where you feel a nice stretch, but again, it's nothing too intense. But you want to feel a little bit of sensation, just nothing too crazy. And keep your left foot flexed, and then point, flex, point, flex. So just keep going here, just getting a little bit of movement through the ankle, and you might feel that as you flex, the stretch intensifies. And that is completely normal. 2 more. Beautiful. Now ankle circles, in and out. Beautiful. Now, from here, grab your strap, place it around kind of the toe mounds, and don't yank on it too much, right? You just want to give yourself a little bit of support. If you're down here and you're getting really tired, try placing your leg in a doorway. That can be super helpful as well, so that this leg is through the door and this is at kind of the door frame. That way you don't have to use so much muscular engagement to keep the leg up. And just breathe here, in and out through your nose, nice and easy. You can close down your eyes. Just feel that stretch in the back of the thigh, the calf. Beautiful. Now, option to stay here, or if it feels good for you, only if it feels good, straighten your right leg. Oops. If you're straightening the right leg, flex the foot and imagine that you're pressing into a wall or standing on the floor. And stay really active here in both legs. You should be able to just let go of that strap, right? Breathe here. We'll stay here for 5 breaths, nice and easy. Long, deep yogi breaths. That's 1. 2. Just relax here. See if you can release more with every exhale. 3. 4. Don't lose that engagement in the right leg. Imagine that you're standing on it, so it's super strong. And last breath here. Beautiful. Bend that left knee. Bring the right knee back in, and we're gonna switch legs. Place the strap to the side for a moment. Now keep your left knee bent and straighten out your right foot. And again, take a moment here and just find that spot where you feel sensation, but it's not too overwhelming. And then gently flex your foot and notice if that changes. And maybe you need to lower a little bit, and that's totally okay. And again, if you're down here, that's all good. Wherever you are is perfect. So wherever you feel a stretch is perfect. So just take a moment here to kind of find that sweet spot. And then just start flexing and pointing your foot. Beautiful. And then ankle circles in. And out. I don't know if you guys can hear, but it's like storming here today, so I hope it's not too loud. Beautiful. Now grab your strap and place it around your the kind of toe mounds of that right foot. And again, just a gentle support here. You don't want to yank on this strap. It's just meant to kind of give you a little bit of gentle support for that leg so that you can relax a bit more. Take 3 breaths here, deep inhales and deep exhales. Try to release through the back of the leg with every exhale. Beautiful. Now you can stay here, or if you want to intensify a bit, straighten out that left leg. Again, foot is flexed. Imagine that you're pushing into a wall or like you're standing on the floor. Now the right leg, same thing. As you notice, my right leg came down quite a bit. I have a lot of injuries on my right side, so I don't have the same flexibility here, and that's okay. It's just where my body is. And we'll take 5 deep breaths here. Again, if this is too intense, you can keep that left leg bent. Nice and easy inhales and exhales through the nose. One more deep breath here. Don't let go of that engagement through that left leg. Engage it as if you're standing on it. Beautiful. You're doing so good. And slowly bend the knees. Place the strap to the side. Hug your knees into the chest. You can rock a little back and forth. Maybe circle the legs a bit. Whatever feels good here. And as you're ready, roll over to one side and come up into a tabletop position. I'm gonna turn this way. Now this is where you may want to have your blocks handy, so just keep them close by. Place your left foot at the outside of your left hand. Curl your right toes under and lift that back knee up. And we'll just take some rocks here, gentle rocks back and forth. Now if this is too intense, this is where the blocks might come in handy. So they have different heights, so use whatever feels good for you. And you just rock back and forth. Engage slightly through that right glute and you'll feel a nice stretch through the right hip flexors. Beautiful. Lower the back knee. You can actually keep the blocks so that they're close by. You might need them for this next move here in a minute. And come into a kind of 90-90 position with the legs. Tuck your back toes under. Interlace your fingers on top of your left thigh. Bring your chin to your chest, look down and push into that leg. Push into the left thigh with your hands. And you'll feel a really, really nice stretch in the right hip flexors and the right psoas here. Breathe. Beautiful. Release. It's also a really nice one that you can do every day. From here, step your left foot forward just a bit and then find your low lunge here. Now we're all different, and so you may be all the way down here or you may be up here, and that's all good. So honor your body and where you are. So I am a little bit iffy in my low back today, so I'm gonna stay pretty high up. This is also a great place to pad your back knee with that blanket if you need that. And imagine that you're pressing your back toes into the mat. And of course the left toes as well. So you have support through both of the feet and the legs are active. Interlace the fingers again on top of that left thigh, and you can just keep it there for support, or you can kind of push into it a little bit and maybe you look up. Breathe. And slowly shift the hips back. Now you can grab your blocks here, straighten out that left leg, flex the foot, hinge from the hips. So you don't want to do this here. You want to hinge from the hips. We're getting into the hamstring here. So don't flex in the spine. You want to almost think about having that cow spine from when we arched in cat-cow in the beginning. You should feel a really nice stretch here through the back of the thigh. Breathe here. Point the toes, flex, point, flex. Sometimes it's really nice to get a little bit of movement in through our poses. It helps us to kind of find our edge a little bit. And it doesn't make it so static, and sometimes our body can start gripping if it feels a little too intense and we're holding it for a long time. And ankle circles. I love doing these little ankle moves when I stretch my hamstrings because it helps my mind kind of relax and switch directions. I have a lot of back issues, and so I have a lot of fear that I have to work through all the time with my nervous system, and so adding these gentle movements usually help calm it down a little bit. So just a tip if you struggle as well. Beautiful. Okay, now shift forward. We're coming into lizard pose or lizard lunge. So you can keep your blocks or you can come down on the hands. So you'll feel this in this left hip here. You can just see where you are. You might be a lot higher. That's okay. You might be down on the floor with your elbows. That's all good as well. Just wherever you are. And perhaps take your blocks, and again, you can place them on whatever height feels good for you, and see if you can place your elbows down. or you can stay on your hands as well. Whatever feels best in your body, never forcing anything. Just listening to our body and just kind of trying to find that edge where we feel sensation, but it's not painful. And you can wiggle a little side to side here, find a little bit of movement. This lizard pose is also a good one to do every day. Really helps open up the hips. It takes time, but with practice, you will open up. Beautiful. Come on up if you were down. Now, you can keep your block, or you can have your hand on the floor. See what feels best. And take your right hand forward, up and over, and bring your right foot in towards your glutes. Don't grab the foot yet. Inhale, back. Exhale, reach. Extend, reach. Extend, reach. Last one. Extend and reach. Now, if you can grab the foot, go ahead. If you can't, you can stay right here for active flexibility, or you can grab a strap. And again, if this is too intense, you can always be up on a block like this to make it a little bit more spacious. So whatever feels good for you. It's a really good quad stretch, which is very important to open up through the hips. Engage your core here to protect that low back. Breathe nice and easy. Again, if you can't reach the foot, that's totally okay. You can just reach for it, or again, grab a strap and place it around the foot. Work with your body where you are. Never forcing anything or trying to get into a certain shape. We always want to meet ourselves where we are on any particular day. And it often changes from day to day as well. Beautiful. And release slowly. No slingshotting of the foot. Come to a tabletop position. Shake out the hips a little bit. And take a quick cat-cow. Perhaps some hip circles. Ooh, cracking and popping. Okay, whatever feels good for you. We're going to do that same sequence on the other side. So step your right foot forward, and hands are on the inside of the foot. Lift your, curl your back toes under, lift that knee, and just take some gentle rocks back and forth. Again, feel free to have blocks underneath your hands here. Beautiful. Drop the back knee. Step that right foot a little bit towards you. Tuck the back toes under again. Your legs are in this 90-90 angle. Interlace your fingers. Place them on top of the right thigh. Tuck your chin to your chest and push into that right thigh. Feeling a really nice stretch in here. Your psoas and your hip flexors. Again, this is a really nice one to do every single day, especially if we sit a lot. It's a nice and gentle psoas stretch. Teaching at home, that's just... Okay, beautiful. Now shift your right foot forward a bit and come into your low lunge. And again, it's normal to have a different sense of flexibility on different sides of your body. So I don't know if you noticed, but I'm much deeper here than I was on the other side. And it's again because I have a lot of injuries and stuff on my right side. So it's all good. You just work where you are. Press down through your back toes. You can interlace the fingers, place them on top of that right thigh, and you can keep it there just for stability, or you can gently press into that thigh, feel that extra length through the low back, the left glute is engaged, and perhaps you stay here or you look up just a tad. Beautiful. Shift the hips back. Grab onto your blocks if you're using them. Straighten out your right leg. And again, hinging from the hips. Feeling that nice stretch to the back of the right thigh and the right calf. Flex the foot. And then you can point and flex. Just finding a little bit of movement here. Beautiful. You're doing so good. Beautiful. Breathe. And circles. Inside or outside, it doesn't matter. You can just do one direction and then we'll switch. And switch directions. Beautiful. Okay. From here, we're coming back into our lizard lunge on the other side. So see how you feel. Maybe start with the blocks. So you'd be here, or maybe here. They have different heights. So I love using blocks because they're so versatile. Or you can come down onto your hands. See how you feel in this right hip here. You might also feel it through the left hip flexors. So again, this is I'm much tighter here. I don't have the same openness in my right hip as I do in my left. It's all normal, all normal. We all have little quirks like that in our bodies. It's perfectly fine. We just want to work with that, right? And never against it. Maybe you try to come down on your forearms on your blocks. I'm going to see how this feels. I might have to come a little higher on this side. Oh, no, that feels pretty good. Take a moment and breathe here. Try to really relax. So the more we can relax through our practice, the more we can let our nervous system know that we're okay, which is key in working with our flexibility and mobility and such. So our flexibility is actually dictated from our brain and our nervous system. So it's the signals that determine how flexible we are, and the brain will only allow a certain level of flexibility based on past experience. So if you don't move and you don't stretch, then your brain is going to think that going past a certain point is dangerous. And that's why it's so important to calm down the nervous system in order to become more flexible. Beautiful. Come on up out of that. Ooh, can be quite intense, yeah? And we'll do these little, you can take a little movement here if you need to. We'll do these kind of extensions and then try to reach for the foot again. So right arm, again, you can do this on a block. I'll show that. Keep your hand on the block. Reach your right arm forward and up and over. And then bring your left foot towards your left glute. And again, if this bothers your knee, place a blanket underneath or a towel or something. Last one. Beautiful. You can stay here for active flexibility. You can grab a strap or you can grab hold of the foot if that feels good. Beautiful. Breathe here. In and out through your nose, nice and slow. You're doing so good. Beautiful. And slowly release. Good job. Bring that right foot back. Shake out the hips. Any movements you need here. Maybe even take a little child's pose. Wiggle around a bit. Sometimes finding movement in our practice can feel really, really nice. Just gentle movement, like wiggling around and kind of, again, like pointing and flexing the toes. Things like that can really change your practice and how it feels in your body. So just play with it and see. We'll take a quick down dog here. So hands down. Imagine you're pushing the floor away. Index fingers are forward, hands are shoulder distance apart. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up. You keep a bend in your knee here, in your knees, as much as needed. If you're here, that's all good. Push the floor away. You can play around with pedaling the feet a bit. And again, see how this feels. We're not trying to look a certain way, right? We just want to feel into our body. So be very, very gentle here. It's just a really nice stretch for the hamstrings. Also for the spine, so make sure that you keep the spine long and just keep a bend in your knees. So you don't want to keep the knees straight and then have this kind of rounding in your back. That is counterproductive. Okay, oh, feels good to pedal out the feet a little bit. Beautiful. Lower the knees down, take a little break off your hands. We'll practice some step throughs now. So this, if you practice yoga and if you're in plank position, you'll step a foot forward to come into low lunge and kind of all those moves, they can actually be quite tricky to do. So let's practice it about 10 times on each side. I'll show you. This is something that I learned from my teacher, Kathy Medeo. It's quite effective. So come into your kind of tabletop position, but you keep your hands on your blocks or whatever you have, books or whatever. Reach your right foot back and then bring it forward. Curl through your abs and through your shoulders. Really focus on drawing that thigh towards the chest. So it's a lot of abs here. And then step the foot forward. Yeah? Good. We're going to do that again. 10 times, okay? If that's way too easy, lower the blocks, or if you can do it without the blocks, go ahead and do that. So in this kind of tabletop position, right leg back, inhale, and as you exhale, bring the knee to your chest. Really feel it here. And step. And back, and again. So a lot of abs here. Curl and step. And also you want to really protract the shoulders to get this movement, to get more space, right? I'm going to lower my blocks. I think we have about 6 more. Good. Keep going. Imagine someone's punching you in the stomach. Beautiful. These are really hard. And try to make them a little bit slower, right? You want to really feel that contraction. Woo, beautiful. Oh, take a little break. Oh, shake it out. And we'll do the left side. Okay, you can start off with the highest setting here, come into this kind of tabletop position. Left leg back, exhale, bring the thigh to the chest, and step the foot forward. Leg back, and curl, engage the core, and back. I'm gonna lower. Do about 8 more here. And you want to really push the floor away or push the blocks away. So you're like hollowing out through the body. People think that this is just stepping the foot forward, but it's a lot of core work because you got to lift that leg into your chest. A lot of compression. Also a lot of hip mobility. Whew. Well, my abs are burning. I don't know about you, but I hope yours are too. Ooh, let's do 2 more. We got this. Oh, beautiful. Oh, my goodness. Ooh, my abs burn. Come to lay on your back. Keep your left knee bent. Bring your right knee in. Flex the foot and place it on top of that left knee. So we're gonna do a supine pigeon pose here. So again, if you have back problems, you can almost do your entire yoga practice on your back. So instead of a regular pigeon, which can be quite intense, you can do this like this on your back. So you can either keep your leg on the floor, if that feels good, or if you want a little bit more, you can interlace the fingers behind the thigh. You can rock a little bit gently, side to side. Oof, this feels good here. And if you want even more, you can bend that left knee a little bit more and grab around the shin here. So whatever feels good for you. So this is basically the same stretch for the right outer hip as a pigeon pose, but it's a little bit gentler. And it gives us more of an opportunity to actually notice sensations in our body versus just being in pigeon and holding on for dear life, right? Just a little back and forth here, if that feels good, or you can stay still. Beautiful. Slowly lower down, and other side. So right leg stays on the floor. Flex the left foot, place it on top of that right knee. Ooh, I am really tight here. So it's important to flex the foot to protect the knee. So keep that foot flexed. Stay here to begin, just to warm it up just a little bit. We don't want to rush our yoga practice, right? We want to really be able to move mindfully and feel into our bodies. And if you want to add on, you can bring that right foot off the floor and grab hold behind the right thigh. And again, just rocking a little back and forth here, nice and gentle. Again, nothing too intense. This feels really yummy. And don't be afraid to hold poses for a long time, right? You'll notice that after a couple of minutes, you start opening up. So I like to do stuff like this in front of the TV in the evening, for example, just some gentle stretches. And it's really nice because you can hold them and you just kind of winding down for the evening, and yeah, it's really nice. If you want to intensify, you can grab hold of that right shin. Keep that left foot flexed. Beautiful. Okay, slowly release. Hug your knees into your chest. And we're coming into our final pose, which is half frog. I was going to do a full frog, but let's go with a half one so we don't overdo it. Okay, so this is where you might want to use your block or your bolster, sorry. So if you're using a bolster, I'll show that first. You'll place your pubic bone on the bolster and you'll just reach your right knee out to the side. Your knee is in line with the hip and the foot is in line with the knee. So you're in this kind of 90-degree angle there and you can just kind of relax here. This feels really good. If you don't have a bolster or if that doesn't give you enough sensation, you can just do this on the floor. So you'd come down, lay on your stomach, and then just bring that right knee out to the side. And again, you can pad the knee if it's too hard underneath it. And then we won't hold this super long, but this is also a really good one you can do throughout the day. You can do this in front of the TV. This one you can hold for like 5 minutes. It feels so good. Beautiful. Slowly bring that knee back in and switch sides. Oh, might have to move some props around. So you want to keep your knee in line with your hip, and then your ankle is in line with the knee. Just breathe here. Beautiful. Bring that knee in. Come up to a comfortable seated position. You can sit on a block or a bolster. You can sit like this or cross-legged. Close down your eyes for just a moment. Hands can rest in your lap. Just take a moment here of gratitude towards your body. And appreciate everything that it does for you every single day. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fabulous day. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions at all, just drop them in the comments. Thank you so much. See you soon.